What's up, guys? Welcome back. Leo Pazzo Productions. Thank you very much for tuning in. In today's video, we're going to be having a closer look at this brand new LED video light, 400 watts bi-color, made by iFootage. This is the SL1 400BNS. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get a little bit more familiar with the SL1 400BNS, starting off with the build quality construction design. It is made out of aluminum, the shell of the light. We do have this handle here on the back, which is actually made and feels like it's made out of plastic. We do have a connector over here at the back, which is a 5-pin XLR connector that's going to allow us to power the light. You can see that we do have this U-shaped bracket yoke that's going to allow us to easily adjust the angle via this handle over here. To unloosen it, just turn it counterclockwise, and now you can go ahead and position the light on whatever angle you want. And you can see that we do have nice flexibility over here. I believe 360 degrees, so this is really nice. And when you tighten it up, it actually locks into place nice and solid. I've been using it with up to a 48-inch deep parabolic softbox, so this does have a nice handle to it that's going to allow you to tighten it down and position it the way you want to. If we look over here towards the top, we have some holes for ventilation, because over here towards the bottom we actually have the fan itself, which is blowing the hot air up. You can see the fan inside, and we do have some settings within the menu to adjust the fan. For an example, we have auto, we have quiet, and we also have ultra quiet as well. Looking over here towards the front, we have the COB chip LED, 400 watts bi-color, from a nice warm temperature of 2,700 all the way up 6,500. At the front of the light as well, you will notice that we do have a Bowen's mount. You can see that we have the little unlocking mechanism over here that we can just go ahead and simply press down and turn the reflector or modifier, softbox, whatever we're going to be using. We can turn it counterclockwise to take it out. Your standard Bowen's mount. An additional little feature over here, they do have 1/4-20 threads with these little locking holes over here, just in case you need to mount any accessories on both sides over here of the light mount itself. And at the bottom, again, just playing a little bit close to detail, you can see that the mount over here for our light stand can be mounted either vertically, or we can mount it horizontally if you want, depending on how you want to configure it. Maybe you want a top-down shot, for an example. So, and as far as the color rendering accuracy of this light, it does have a 98 CRI rating with a TLCI of 99. So next, let's have a closer look at the light's controller / power supply, which is all built into one over here, separate from the light itself, which is going to get connected over here at the top. We'll have a closer look at these connections, but you'll see that we do have a display screen along with some buttons and some dials over here to control some of the settings, which we will dive into the menu and how to control this light shortly once we go ahead and power it on. It is actually lightweight. It is made out of metal. We do have some ventilation here on either side, but at the top, let's have a closer look at the connections. So over here we do have the power cable, which is going to get plugged into the wall and then supplying power to this controller / power supply, which this is the Nutrix connector. Again, nice solid connection that we're going to be able to make over here to the light. Onto the left hand side, this is where the power from the controller power supply is going to be sent to the light, which is a 5-pin XLR. So again, just to recap, we're going to have power coming in from the wall and then sending it out to the light itself. Next, over here at the top, we do have a 3-pin DMX connection. Again, that's going to support for DMX control of this lighting kit, which is fantastic. And just below that, we do have the power button, which again is going to allow us to either power on and off the light, or if we short press it, we can actually just put the light on like pause standby, which is going to turn it off, but still have the controller / power supply still active and ready to go at any time. So other than that, taking a closer look here at the back, we do have a 1/4 20 thread over here with some locking pins in case you need to mount it somewhere specifically. We do have some ventilation here at the bottom, which it is recommended not to be blocking this ventilation for the cooling thermal management. And with that being said, over here at the top, we do have this strap with this little metal kind of clasp over here, which actually is adjustable, so we can kind of like make it a little bit bigger for an example, so we can kind of hang it onto our light stand, which I've been doing. And then once the weight kind of is applied, it's going to tighten up like so. So overall, it is well thought out. It is lightweight. I'm glad that it's kind of separate from the light to keep the weight of the light down. And yeah, that's pretty much everything over here onto the controller slash power supply. So starting off with this first cable, which is the 5-pin XLR cable, which again, one end is going to get connected over here to the top of the controller slash power supply. You just want to go ahead and push it in like so. And this other end is going to be the cable that's going to get connected to the back of the light itself. So for now, let's just put this off to the side. And we're going to have a closer look now at the next cable over here, which is actually quite long as well. It feels like it's longer than 3 meters. And what we're going to be doing with this cable is plugging it into our wall outlet so we can supply power. And then on this end, this is the Nutrix connector over here, which just simply actually gets pushed in and turned clockwise to lock into place. And I'm glad that it actually has a lock built into it, so you can't just pull it out by an accident and turn off the light. You actually need to just pull back this unlocking mechanism over here and now turn it counterclockwise and it removes. So I'm glad that to see that that is built in, and it's a nice and quick, easy setup. So now for us to go ahead and power on the light, we need to obviously plug in this end to the wall, and this other end over here, we're going to plug it into the back of the light. So let's just go ahead and do that. It might look a little bit messy right now with all these cables on the table over here, but no big deal. We'll get this XLR 5-pin, we'll push it in, and it's also locked into place as well because it has this little unlocking little mechanism over here, typical for XLR connections. And now we just need to plug in this one end over here to the wall. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so now that we have all of our cables connected, let's go ahead and short press the power button, and you can see over here onto the display screen, the light is now on, but we are currently sitting at 0%, so the light is not actually illuminated. And currently we are looking at the CCT range of 5600K. And we do have some icons over here at the top, for an example, the Bluetooth, the different lighting intensity curves that we have available. Right now it's set to linear, and along with the ID for the DMX control and the fan speed, etc. Some additional information there. So let's get more familiar with these dials onto the right hand side, starting off with the dial that's labeled as dim. So if we rotate this clockwise, you can see it's going to turn on the light, and we are currently sitting at 0.1%. So this light is at its lowest setting right now, 0.1%. And each time we rotate this one little notch, it's bringing us up into nice fine-tuned controls of 0.1 increments. So here's 0.2, 0.3, and 4, and so on, and now we are sitting at 1%. So you might be wondering, well, I don't want to be rotating this wheel all the way up to 100. That's going to take quite a bit of time. No problem, because they have this button here in the middle of this top dial, which is going to toggle through the different presets as far as the intensity. Right now we're sitting at 20%, 40%, 60, 80, and 100. This is a 400 watts set to 100%, 5600 Kelvin, super bright. Let's bring it back over here to 0%, toggle it once to 0.1%. Now this dial over here to the bottom right, again, it is labeled as set, and this is going to allow us to set our CCT range. So as you can see, we're at 5600, and we can rotate this dial counterclockwise, for an example, all the way down to this nice warm temperature of 2700, or we can rotate it all the way up to 6500, nice cool temperature. And same thing goes over here for the CCT range. We do have some presets. For an example, right now we're at 2700, 3200, 4300, 5600, or 6500. So we can easily get to whatever kind of number specifically that we want to get. Let's come over here to the left hand side, because we do have some buttons starting off onto the top. For an example, we are currently in the CCT mode right now, so if I press it, nothing's going to happen. But if I were in the effects mode, which is the next button, let's go ahead and press this button. So right now it's currently set to the faulty bulb, but I want to change that. Let's start off from the beginning to show through all the different effects we have. We have fireworks, we have paparazzi, the lightning, we have welding, the strobe, explosion, pulsing, faulty bulb, television, and CCT cycling. So let's come back over here to the beginning, because I also wanted to show you guys that we do also have control of the speed for an example of that effect, and we also have control of the color as well. So let's come over here to another effect. Let's come over to Paparazzi, so we can change also the frequency. We can adjust that, and we can also adjust the CCT range as well. So it's really nice controls that they're not just basic presets. We have further controls for these effects as well. Let's come over here back to the CCT mode, and I want to talk to you about the next button over here, which is labeled as BT, which is Bluetooth. So if you need to reset your Bluetooth, you're going to be able to do that right here by pressing the BT button, Bluetooth button, and now it's going to ask you, do you want to reset it, yes or no? So for whatever reason, you may want to reset it if the light is not connecting to your mobile phone, that you want to control this light wirelessly, you can reset the Bluetooth. So for now, we'll just turn that off. And finally over here, we have the menu. So let's enter into the menu over here. So here we have the fan settings. Currently right now it's set to auto, but if I wanted to toggle between all the different fan settings, we can toggle between auto, we have quiet, or ultra quiet as well. Next over here, we do have the dimming curve. As you can see, I have it set to linear, but we do have a few different options to pick from. Next, let's scroll down. We have DMX settings. So let's enter into here. We have DMX address that we can select, and along with the modes. So to back out of here, you just want to press the menu button. We'll scroll down to this next mode over here, which is studio mode. Currently, I have it set to on. I really do like this feature. So for an example, whenever the light detects power, it's going to automatically turn on and go to those default settings that you were using last. So in my case, I like to leave studio mode on. More specifically, why? Just in case there's a power outage, or maybe one of the cables come unplugged for an example, the light is going to automatically turn on and go back to those default settings automatically as soon as it detects power and power comes back on. So studio mode for me is a nice feature. Let's scroll down over here and see what other options we have. We can adjust the language, and we can also restore any settings, for an example, back to default. And we are currently, at the time of making this video, firmware version 1.1.1, which we can update the firmware in the mobile phone app, which will prompt you if it detects that it requires a firmware update. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get a little bit more familiar with the mobile phone app, which is going to allow us to control this light wirelessly. You can see I've already downloaded and installed the Lumen Plus app, so let's go ahead and launch it. So as you can see, it's trying to automatically connect just like that. So within a matter of seconds, I can go ahead and select right over here project number 1, which is going to list all of my devices that I have connected. In this case, I just have the 400BNS, and we can go ahead and simply turn on or off any one of the lights or all of the devices all together at the same time. We can go ahead and turn on all devices if we want to as well, depending on how many lights we have. And we can also, for an example, directly select onto the light itself, but we can turn each individual light off depending if we had multiple of these lights. So what we want to do is just go ahead and turn it on, and we're going to tap on the Anglerfish 400BNS so we can actually control that light. So let's go ahead and select that, and right off the top you'll see at the top of the screen we have a few different modes. Currently we are in the CCT mode. We can adjust the intensity by just simply sliding across like so. We can also select the CCT range as well. We can use the slider, or we also have these presets that we can just simply use, or we can go ahead and enter a specific number as well. So for an example, if I want 4,000, we're going to go done, and bingo, just like that it went to 4000K, or the presets or the slider. We can also control the different curves as far as the lighting dimming curve, and we can adjust the brightness as well by entering a number over here. For an example, 23%, or better yet 0.1%. And we'll go to done, and bingo, the light is at 0.1%. So just briefly looking at the light over here, we got 2700, and we got all the way up to 6,500. Next over here we do have a bunch of different gel filters type of an idea, so we can select any one of these colors and they're going to switch the light just like that. Next, let's have a closer look over here at the next mode, which is the effect mode. So within the effect mode, as we looked earlier on the menu, we can select any one of these different effects. For an example, Paparazzi, and we got the intensity, the frequency, and the CCT range. So let's adjust the intensity a little bit. We can adjust the frequency if we want to, and also the color as well. So let's back out, and we can select this for each one of these different lighting presets. So let's go to the next mode over here, which is actually a really nice cool feature, which is music. So you can see right now the light is actually flashing, flickering according to my voice. So let's go ahead and play some music on my phone, or actually let's stop talking briefly. Now that I'm talking again, the light is reacting to my voice, and you can see that it's picking up the audio levels there, and we have control of the spectrum of the light as well via these different presets. So let's play some music on my phone, which I've prepared over here in my Google Drive, and here's a quick little example. Very nice. So let's come back over here to the app. So now that you guys are a little bit more familiar with the different modes, again, you can simply turn the light on and off as well. You can lock some of your settings as well so nothing gets pressed accidentally. Well guys, it looks like we reached that time of the video to give you my overall thoughts and opinion of this light. So right off the bat, would I recommend this? Yes, 100%. Why? The price that we're paying and what we are getting, I definitely feel that is worth it. 400 watts, super bright, and the ease of use to be able to control this light directly onto the power supply controller itself, either wirelessly on our mobile phones, tablets, Androids, etc. And best part, the DMX control, which is definitely helping me kind of future-proof and upgrading my lighting setup to the next level, just in case I'm going to be on any bigger sets and they want to take advantage of the DMX control for the lighting setup. Now I can do that with the 400BNS. The other thing that I want to mention to you guys that I do like and appreciate about the light is the fact the build quality. As I mentioned, I think the aluminum design, nice and solid, nice and durable, weighing about like 2.7 kilograms. We have the handle on the back, but what I was going to say, the internal fan is actually nice and quiet. We can kind of just go within the menu and set it to auto, set it, forget it for the thermal cooling management. The fan's just going to do its thing. But what I'm trying to get at is how loud is the fan? It's not that loud. It hasn't been affecting my audio. Well, overall, I am impressed with the light. If you guys do have any questions or comments, concerns, let me know down into the comment section down below. I definitely do appreciate you guys tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, you already know what to do. Subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Till next time, peace.